This is, hands down, one of the most important videos that I've done so far on YouTube. We're going to be looking at the macro because Bitcoin's been rejected at 116,000. We talked about that in crypto school. It's been rejected at 116,000 and it's 50 period moving average. Now, this is going to be the story of this video, the 50 period moving average. And what I'm going to show you is going to shock you because this 50 period moving average is the most important thing in crypto right now, as far as the daily is concerned. So Bitcoin needs to do one thing, it needs to break 116,000. How is Ethereum performing against its dollar pair and then against its Bitcoin pair? That tells a story, and we're going to explain that very shortly. Then how strong is the dollar? It's all relevant, guys, against its currencies outside of crypto. And then the USDT dominance. Are people holding stable coins? Are people spending stable coins? What impact is that going to have on total three? And then I've got all of your altcoin requests. We've got Cardano, we've got VE Chain, we've got Aster, we've got PancakeSwap, we've got Hyperliquid, we've got ICP, we've got Polkadot, we've got Jasmy. So all of your altcoin requests from Crypto School, all of your altcoin requests from the Discord group, this is going to be the most jam-packed video that I've done in a long time. Let's dive in. Before we get into your altcoin requests, we're going to go through a little method of finding out exactly what's likely to happen, what if it goes right, what if it goes wrong. And we're going to start here with Bitcoin because we said in the previous video, 116,030, that was going to be the rejection point. Never guess what? That's exactly where we got rejected. Why was that? Because that coincided with the previous lower high, and that's where people were taking profits. So people took profits 116,000. The area to beat in the short term is going to be 114,324. Why is that? This is the 50 period moving average on the daily, and we're starting to take this back. We lost it yesterday, we're starting to take it back today. We've got 13 hours and 44 on the clock left until we get the daily close. So if we get a daily close above the 50, that's going to give us enough momentum to try and take back 116,000, hold that as support, and then we've got 118,279 as the next big resistance barrier. Why is that? The whole of this range, going all the way back to July, the whole of this range here, this, my friends, is the biggest area of traded volume, 118,279. Prices underneath that, that is going to be a resistance point. We expect that to act as resistance. However, if we break the 116,000, hold that as support, reject at 118,000, we've got the 116,000 to fall back on while we coil up to get enough momentum to be able to push through this biggest area of traded volume, hold that as support, and then that is really going to be bullish. So it is all about looking at taking back these key levels, the 50 period moving average, 116,000, test the 118,000, gain enough momentum to break the 118,000. Once we break through the 118,000, that's when we really flip bullish. So that's Bitcoin. We know what Bitcoin needs to do. Next thing is going to be Ethereum. How's Ethereum doing? It's in a bull flag. It's coiling up, it's coiling up, it's coiling up, it's coiling up. Never guess what? Story of the day, 50 period moving average. We're losing it. We've got rejected from that. Aim of the game in the short term. Take back 4,232 on Ethereum. One thing that you can see that's strong here is we've broken the 4,000. That's the key psychological round number. That was the barrier, and we're currently holding that as support. So we've got a big support base here. You can see that by the build up of price action. Clues look left. We've taken this back. As long as this holds 4,000, then expect enough momentum to break through the 50, test the top of the range, which is currently sitting at $4,350. Once you break the range, then you see acceleration all the way to 4,862 and beyond. So we know people are interested in Ethereum. Ethereum's performing against its USDT pair. We know what Bitcoin needs to do against its USDT pair. Then we go to Bitcoin against Ethereum. So the biggest crypto and the second biggest crypto go head to head, and who's winning? At the moment, what's this? A bull flag. What we're putting in? High or low? What's just happened? Crack of trend. Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin right now. So that's signaling that people collectively are buying the second biggest asset within the whole of the crypto space, as opposed to the biggest asset within the whole of the crypto space. And one thing that's happened here, this break of trend is a good thing. We're holding the break of trend. That's a good thing. Never guess what? What's the rejection point? Of course, it is the 50 period moving average. That's the pain in the ass for the day. So Ethereum's outperforming Bitcoin. That's a tick. We look at the dominance next. And one thing is we've got this big rejection here. That big rejection coincided with the capitulation within the whole of the crypto market. The biggest crypto liquidation event that's happened as far as any within the history of crypto, should I say. So as that liquidation event happened, Bitcoin dominance went up. Why did it go up? Because people started converting into Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the least risky asset. People started selling their altcoins, going into dollars, going into Bitcoin, temporarily pushing the market cap all the way up to 63.55. Now, the bear case would be start grinding up back to this 200 moving average. That would annihilate altcoins. But one thing you see when you get a capitulation like this, you very rarely see another capitulation straight after. So I'm not expecting the dominance to rise. I'm expecting a rejection here. We want to lose the 50 period moving average on this one. We don't want to gain it. We want to lose it. We want to drop in dominance, and we want to push to the downside, signaling an altcoin season. If we zoom out, we can see this is what happened in the previous ones. Bam, straight to the downside. 2017 alt season, 2021 alt season. What's this? 2025? Haven't had it yet. So that signals that we've still got time. Then we look at the total three. Everybody knows on total three what needs to happen. We need to take back the 1.16 trillion. In fact, the high now is 1.18 trillion. And as we start grinding up, that's going to give confidence in altcoins, and that's going to make your altcoins move. That's going to be a leading indicator, and that's also my indicator to scale out of the market once we take back this level. So how strong is the market from a macro perspective? One thing we're seeing is this S&P. S&P put in a new high yesterday. That's positive. One thing that concerns me is this gap here. Are we going to retake this anytime soon? Is the S&P going to pull back, take this gap before we get an acceleration to the upside? So that's one thing to monitor. Now, we need to know how strong the dollar is. Why do we need to know how strong the dollar is? Because the dollar is the least risky asset as far as currencies are concerned. In times of fear, people flood into the dollar. In times of greed, people flood out of the dollar. The DXY gives us an indication of how strong the dollar is because it measures the dollar against the euro, the Japanese yen, the Great British pound, the Canadian dollar, and another bag of currencies all collectively trading against the dollar. And when the dollar is doing this, down, lower high, pushing down, that means the other currencies are doing well. Now, from a psychological perspective, think of this. When the dollar is weak and people are buying other currencies because other currencies are strong against the dollar, that allows those currencies to have more monetary spending power against that dollar, which means that they can buy more stuff in the United States, and the United States can have more exports because the dollar is weak against their respective currencies. So it is strong. People in times of fear go into the dollar. When the dollar's down, that means that we're in an on-risk rally. So we look at the DXY for that. Then we look at the USDT dominance. This is the important one because this is the dollar within the crypto market. People hold stable coins when they're in times of fear within the crypto market. When people are holding stable coins, they're waiting for one thing, a directional bias as far as the market's concerned. Never guess what? We got a big rejection here. That's strong. We come back, triple top, and then the rejection started. So in an ideal world, we're going to lose this 200 moving average, we're going to lose the 50 moving average, and then we're going to go bearish on USDT dominance. Now, stock market, we looked at the S&P 500, that put in new highs yesterday. We're looking at the Russell 2000. Russell 2000 is performing strong, and when we really start seeing a break of the all-time highs of the Russell 2000, which is the US 2000 small cap index, that indicates one thing: on risk, not just within the crypto market, outside of the crypto market. People are buying high risk stocks. And that'll have an impact on total three because when that breaks, people will start buying altcoins on risk in crypto. It's all relative, guys. So we've looked at the macro. Let's jump into the altcoins next. And we will start with Cardano for the first altcoin of the day. The aim of the game for Cardano is to take back 74 cents. This is the lower high after we got the big crypto capitulation. Cardano leveled off around about 62 cents, 63 cents. But this crypto capitulation on Cardano, 27 cents. Did anyone manage to buy Cardano at 27 cents before it got a big recovery here? Within minutes. So it is 66.53 cents right now. Take back 74 cents would allow us to come back into this channel. Once we come back into the channel and take back the 200 moving average, then we can start putting in higher highs, we can start putting in higher lows, and testing the top of the channel, which is around about the 90 cents. Once you break this 90 cent level, then you've got a high probability of pushing up for an extension. The extension level is going to be this, the $1.32 barrier. So the $1.32, why is this a significant level? Because that's the 38.2% retracement of Cardano's previous bull market high up here. So a 38.2% retracement of its bull market high. This is also the rejection point of Cardano's bear market. So it hasn't managed to breach 38.2. Once we start taking back 90, we've got another chance to break 132. Once you break 132, you've got an acceleration. Why is the acceleration? Because you've got a gap here where we've got a push to the downside during the bear market, limited price action here to go by, and you just see an acceleration to $2 once you take back $1.32 with limited resistance. $2 is also exactly the 61.8% retracement from its previous all-time high. So we've got some barriers to overcome, but in the short term, 74 cents is the main one for Cardano. VE chain next. You can see VE chain. We had a big recovery on this, all the way down 0.00976, recovered up here at 0.01588. You can see it's going to be simple, this one. We're waiting for a break. So you're waiting for a break of trend on this, and then you're waiting to take back another key level. The key level is this lower high here, which is sitting at 0.02 cents. That's also a key psychological round number, 2 cents. That's what we need to take back in the short term. Next is going to be Aster. Not much data to go by. The only thing we can do is stick a fib on here, see if any levels are sticking points all the way from the bottom. I haven't done this yet, so I'm not 100% sure. All the way to the top. Get your fibs right. So it is respecting the fibs because we've got a bounce here at the 78.6. We've got a rejection here at the 61.8. We've got support here at the 61.8. And we've also got a 38.2 bounce. We've also got a 61.8 bounce here. So we know that the Fibonacci levels work on this chart. So that's a good thing. So the level to be in the short term, we understand, is going to be the 61.8% retracement, which we lost. That sat at $1.26. So $1.26, once you break that, you're all the way back up here at $1.70, which is the 38.2% retracement. Then you can start putting projections in the new highs. But the one thing that we need to know is this a low? If it's not, how can we put an extension in? So it's important when you're using Fibonacci, whether you're using retracement, whether you're using extension, to understand that the low's in, because you can't use projections without putting the low in. Just as an example, if this is the low, you can stick 1618, you can stick 1272, you can get projection targets. We can look at those projection targets, which are 283 and 1618 all the way up here at 335. And this one's an interesting one because one thing you can see with PancakeSwap is it is bulked between two moving averages. It's lost its 50 story of the day, the 50 period moving average. Everything's rejecting the 50 today. Aim of the game is to take back $2.89. Now this is going to be a good one because you take back $2.89, hold this 50 as support. You've got limited resistance all the way up to $4 after that. So clues look left. You've got two big support bases. You've got the 200 moving average. That's going to be a strong support. You've got the 50 moving average. That's your resistance barrier. But you've also got this $2.45, which is an important level. If you look left, look how this level was respected previously as support or as resistance. And you can see time and time again, this level is held. This level is held. So we understand that this is going to be a key support base. Now price actions above. So we've got two key areas to hold. You've got the big 200 moving average. You've got the $2.45. And that's going to be your support base. So if we fall through that, there's going to be another capitulation event. And I don't think that this is going to happen. If we fall through here, drop this, and you're going all the way back down to 153. Do I think that that's going to happen again? No, I don't. I think we've got a higher probability of holding this level, taking back the 50 period moving average, and going to $4 on Pancake. Next one, Hyperliquid. So the story of the day, the aim of the game, the 50 moving average, that's been the pain in the ass. 50 period moving average on Hyperliquid has been taken back and we're holding that as support. So because we're holding that as support, we can do one thing. We can look for an extension. Are we breaking trend? Stick a trend line on there. Are we breaking trend? Yes, we're breaking trend. We're holding the 50 moving average. That's strong. What can we do? We can stick a Fibonacci extension tool on there from this swing low, all the way to this swing high, and then all the way back down, understanding that this capitulation event is highly likely to be the low. So what we're looking for, you've got your one-to-one equal measure move. Your one-to-one equal measure move sat here, $70. You've got your 1272, $84. And then you've got the golden 1618, $101. $100 is going to be a key psychological round number. $101 is the 1618 golden retracement zone. So this is going to be a big rejection point if PancakeSwap gets to these levels. So we need to understand one thing. We need to take back this high sitting at 58.38, that would confirm that we're expecting to put a continuation in. We're expecting to put in a new higher high. And the first level is going to be the 1-to-1 equal measure move. Like I say, just under $70. Okay, next is going to be ICP. So ICP, we've seen a big drop on ICP. We've got little resistance on ICP now, up to $3.97, $4. So we talked about the kill zone in the previous video. This is the kill zone, and this is how you measure a kill zone. Simple. I urge each and every single one of you to do this on your charts. How do you do this? This is the lower low in a downtrend. This is the lower high. Simple. Then we've put in a new low. So we understand that that's the lower low. That's the lower high. That is how we add our kill zone in. Why is this relevant? Because as you start taking back these levels and start pushing up to these levels and start pushing up to the lower high, are regaining enough momentum to come back and test this key level. If you've got enough momentum to test this key level, you start seeing one thing: flag patterns, pennants. While it gains enough momentum to push through the barrier, hold this as support, and once it's held that as support and put in a new high, that's confirmed a trend reversal. So the kill zone confirms your trend reversal. This lower high, breaching that, confirms that the trend has reversed. Simple as that, guys. A little trick for you. Polkadot next. Polkadot needs to take back. In fact, it's taken back $3.13. So this is looking strong on Polkadot. But one thing you can see is this pennant. Let me just stick the chart on right. You can see this pennant on Polkadot. These are bullish patterns. Once we break out of this and confirm the break, that is going to be bullish. And we talked about Polkadot in the previous video. We said it was doing one thing. This is a big bullish divergence. It's putting in a higher low on the RSI. It's putting a lower low on price. The price needs to catch up because the RSI is a measurement of buying and selling pressure. So we know that the price needs to catch up. That's bullish. We need to take back in the short term this lower high, $3.39, and then you can start seeing us accelerate all the way back up to the 50-period moving average. Pain in the ass of the day. 50-period moving average is currently sitting on Polkadot at $3.77. Right, okay, finally, Jasmy coin. One thing with Jasmy coin that you're looking for is you're looking for a simple breaker trend. We applied the kill zone on Jasmy coin here. That's the area that we need to take back to confirm a trend reversal. Once we push through the 50-period moving average, hold 0.01253 as support. That's going to give us enough momentum to push up and test what? The lower high. Once we break the lower high, what is that? Trend reversal. So that's how you get clues within the market. We need to look at the macro. We need to look at Bitcoin. We need to look at Ethereum. We need to look at the dollar. We need to look at the stock market. And then we can decide exactly how risky people are, whether they're likely to go risk on, and risk on means altcoins. So there's your altcoin request, guys. It is all dependent on what's going to happen in the next coming days. Taking back the 50-period moving average and all these charts that we've been looking at is going to be a really bullish move. So if you want to educate yourself, guys, I'm a coach in Crypto School now. We've got big YouTubers and big traders within Crypto School. It's $99 a month. The link is in the description of each and every single one of my videos. You get one-to-one coaching, you get trading courses, you get consistent price action as far as calls are concerned. You've got all these different coaches putting things out in the Discord group to give people an advantage and help you get an edge within the crypto market, because education is key, community is key. And if you want to be part of the Crypto School, click the link in the description and I'll be one of your coaches, guys. You can speak to me one-to-one. I'll help you out, but you can also speak to all these great coaches that we've got in the background. That's about it from me. You take care of yourself and I'll see you all in the next one.